This is the story of Steve Prefontaine, rock star runner. To understand Pre and the way he ran, you need to know how he grew up. Steve was born in Coos Bay, Oregon on January 25, 1951. Coos Bay is a tough working man's town filled with loggers and fishermen. After serving World War II, his father, Ray, a carpenter, came home with his war bride, Alfreda. Steve's two older sisters had a hard time keeping up with him. He was always running around chasing their dog. Steve was smaller than most of his friends, so to prove his toughness, he tried to join the football team. The coach told him that he was too small to play, so instead, Steve ran. He joined the Marshfield High cross-country team in 1965. As a junior, Steve set a goal to go undefeated, and he did. His ability to block all mental and physical pain helped him win the 1968 cross-country meet. In his senior year, he won the mile and 2-mile races at 2 meets, an unmatched feat in Oregon. At this time, Steve had close to 20 different colleges asking him to run for them. Steve didn't want to go to any of those schools. He wanted to go to the famed University of Oregon, but wondered why they weren't calling him. Then Bill Bowerman, legendary coach and future co-founder of Nike, wrote Pre a note telling him if he came to Oregon, he'd make Pre the best distance runner ever. That was all Steve needed to hear. Pre immediately connected with the Oregon crowds. He became a rock star runner. Crowds chanted, "Pre, Pre, Pre," whenever he was on the track. Pre used his fame and status to champion amateur athletes' rights. At that time, the Amateur Athletic Union gave athletes like Steve very little money to enter meets and live on, while the AAU governing members were paid thousands of dollars to book their star athletes at these same meets. Amateur athletes' Olympic eligibility was threatened if they accepted any money or went against AAU rules in any way. Steve was very outspoken against the unfair policies of the AAU. Because of his efforts, treatment of amateur athletes changed, and they were allowed fair compensation for their world-class efforts. Meanwhile, back on the track, Pre's college years were record-setting. In this 1972 Olympic trials, on his home track, Hayward Field, Steve set an American record of 13 minutes 22.8 seconds, which was only 6 seconds off the world record. After his performance, the world wondered if anyone could stop Pre. As a joke, he grabbed a Stop Pre t-shirt from a spectator and wore it during his cooldown laps.
Your strategy this evening, was it to go as fast as you could, and were you able to do that, or what was it?
I was actually slow at the 2-mile mark. I was supposed to be 8:40, and I was 8:46, so I was slow. I realized I better pick up the pace, otherwise something might happen.
Who's foremost in your mind in Munich?
Well, there's a lot of them. There's going to be 12 people in the final event, and if I'm there, there's going to be 12 people that could win it.
How do you feel? You're number one now.
Well, all I can say is I hope I can stay fit, and if I can run like this in Munich, I think I'm going to be pretty hard to stop.
The 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich were tainted by the kidnapping and murder of 9 Israeli wrestlers by Palestinian terrorists.
There are men with guns beginning to train those guns on the rooms where the two heads were sticking out a moment ago of the Arab guerrilla lookouts. This is happening now, if you can possibly believe that, at the games of the 20th Olympiad.
Despite the extreme circumstances, the games continued and Steve Prefontaine got his chance to run against the world's best in the 5,000-meter race.
Prefontaine told me the other night, or about a week ago, standing in the lobby of the Sheraton München Hotel, he said, what I'm going to try to do is work it out so it'll be a pure guts race at the end, and if it is, I'm the only one who can win. Now David Bedford has decided to get into it. Boy, what strategy must be going out there? This is the thinking time, isn't it?
Nobody was thinking during that first mile.
And Steve Prefontaine is going to take the lead.
1 mile to go.
4 laps to go, that's it.
Pre has got to run that 4-minute mile now. He's got to.
No man at the age of 21 has ever won this long, tough, and thinking man's race, the 5,000 meters. Viren taking the lead. Viren up there ahead of Steve Prefontaine. And Stewart, here comes Camuti, up even with them.
They're really going to pick up these next paces. Now this is
McCafferty.
Viren's moment. This is when Viren makes his long drive.
Prefontaine going for the lead again. It's become a tense duel now. This could be a great race, a historic race. Let's see if it develops that way.
Pre is running a gutsy race. What a kick he's putting on. This is 600 yards to go, and he's trying an all-out kick.
It's going to be a last lap fight. Camuti has moved into third. Here's Viren going for the lead. It seems impossible that Prefontaine can outkick Viren.
Or Camuti.
Vatinen is no place. Vatinen will not be a factor with his fabled kick.
Camuti
Lassie Viren is going for his second gold medal of the games. Mohamed Camuti is right with him, and so is Steve Prefontaine. The kid is showing all the guts in the world. He's hanging in there with the kickers. Prefontaine going for the lead with Camuti. Viren is still there. Here comes Prefontaine.
Pre is running a great race. What guts.
Here comes Viren going for his second gold medal. And I think he's going to win it. But Camuti could have a kick. I don't think so. Viren's going to win the gold. And here comes the Briton trying to pass Prefontaine for the bronze. It's going to be close.
Unfortunately, Steve's time of 13 minutes 22.8 seconds at the Olympic trials would have easily earned him the gold. Despite running a 4:04 last mile, Pre was edged out by Ian Stewart of Great Britain for the bronze medal just meters before the finish. Steve was devastated and refused to speak to anyone. After a long mourning period, Steve finally got back on the track in a race against American elites to raise money for his beloved Hayward Field. No one knew that this would be his last race. Steve easily won, making him undefeated at Eugene in 25 consecutive races. Pre was a rock star runner. He held all 7 American records from 2 to 10,000 meters at the same time. He also challenged world athletes as a novice at the age of 21 in the 1972 Summer Olympics. Steve made a difference to all amateur runners not by breaking records on the track, but by shaking up the AAU, eventually making it possible for amateurs to compete for top prize money in races of their choosing. After his death, Steve's fight carried on. With the help of former teammate Frank Shorter, Congress passed the 1978 Amateur Sports Act, giving payment to athletes instead of race organizers. Steve Prefontaine captured the hearts and minds of all who saw him run. Few can forget him eyeing the clock instead of the finish line. Pre set new goals, including the 1976 Olympics. He even turned down a fortune for a chance at a new world record and to beat his rival Lars Viren of Finland. He never got that chance.
This morning, one of America's finest distance runners, Steve Prefontaine, was killed in an automobile accident in Eugene, Oregon. He died a little more than 4 hours after he had run the second fastest 5,000 meters in American history. He was 24 years old.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim again.